guys, it's Caitlin here and welcome back to my channel. We are back with part 2 of the Mordark Manor build, and if you missed part 1, I will make sure to link that in the description box below so you can go ahead and check that one out as well. So just before I get into this build, I just want to quickly apologise. I haven't been posting any videos as often as I usually would, and that has been due to me being a little unwell. I've had a bit of a ear infection. It doesn't exactly sound too nice when I use the word infection, but that's what it is. So so that's the reason why I haven't been uploading. Also, for those of you guys who have been waiting on my LP episodes, I haven't been posting any episodes up for that either. I just want to let you guys know I am still going to be continuing that. I had a little issue there as well where I accidentally deleted all of my saves, so I sort of had to work to get back up to scratch with where I left off on my last LPs, on my last episode, sorry. So yeah, hopefully that'll be out soon. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it. So at the moment we are doing the parents' bedroom, and I thought it would be really nice to have a nice sort of luxurious red room. I feel like I don't know, I feel like it's a very nice colour for adults. I was jumping through the different rooms when I was trying to come up with ideas for what I wanted to do in each room, because I wasn't exactly too sure. So you do see me jump from room to room, and then I'll come back later on in the video. So I believe this house is a 4-bedroom house, and it also has a basement, so it's got a few little, I guess, sleeping quarters down there as well. So I guess those could kind of be counted as bedrooms, but they're sort of in a big open space, so I won't count them as bedrooms. So we actually do have 4 bedrooms. So we've got a parents' bedroom. This is kind of what I imagined in my head. I imagined there would be a parents' bedroom, and they'd probably have like a teenage daughter and a little son. And I thought as well that I would make a little toddler's room just in case they decided that they wanted to later on have another little vampire baby. So yeah. So so this is what I was talking about with the little sleeping quarters in the basement. I've sort of done a little, I guess, vampire dungeon type thing, and it's sort of hidden off from the rest of the house. I mean, it's not exactly hidden off, but it's a room that people probably wouldn't go into. The staircase is located in a separate room, so I don't think people would often go into that room. But yeah, anyway, I really like this room down here. I thought it was nice to have it big and open. This little section over here I thought could be the parents' room. I thought it would be nice to have a black coffin for the dad and a nice white coffin for the mum. And I was sort of actually trying to build this based on some of the characters that I've already got in my personal gameplay, and the mother I have in my personal gameplay, she wants to be kind of like a good vampire. She still drinks humans, or your human sims, but she likes to be a good vampire in a way. So that is the reason why her casket is white. And then in the little quarter that you see just off to the left side there, that is going to be the children's quarter where their daughter and the son will sleep. And I thought it would be really cool to have just a little lounge area downstairs. So I've put a little organ in there. I thought it would be nice, since they don't age, that maybe I would use that to my advantage and try and get their skills up in the organ. I'm not too sure if getting a skill up in the organ also counts for the piano, or whether that's a complete different skill, but we'll go for it anyway. There's a piano upstairs anyway, so if they are going to be sort of connected in a way, like the skills connected, then that'll be great as well. So I really am enjoying these. I know I said in my last video that I really like these, what do you call them? These cracks and webs. So yeah, I did really want to use them as much as possible here. There are a few little things I've done off screen, just because when I went to take the screenshots, there were some other things that I felt like I wanted to add, or that I felt like I wanted to miss, but you will see them all in the screenshots at the end. I think the things I added really does, sort of help bring it all together. it didn't really help that on the day that I was actually finishing this, I was sort of having a bit of a, an uncreative day. I just wasn't feeling a lot of the things I was doing with this, so that's also another reason for why I did do things off screen, especially with large builds. I'm not sure if it's the same with other people, but when I do large builds, I start to get bored. By the time I've done the outside and everything like that, when it comes to finishing, I get quite bored. I think that is one of the reasons why I do like to build a lot of smaller builds instead and finish them instead, because that way I still have my sort of creative way continuing throughout the entire build. But yeah, I just wanted to use some very, very simple brown colours and neutral colours just down here. I don't know, I think it works really nicely. And just putting up some webs here and that little portrait there. The sim family I was imagining to live here, the father, he has sort of darker skin, so I thought that works perfectly with that large photo above the fireplace there, because I thought that could be possibly like maybe his father or his grandfather or something like that. One of his ancestors. And just over in this quarter, I thought about making it the little toddler quarter, but I thought having a toddler bed doesn't really suit being in the dungeon, so I thought I would turn it into like a little bar area where they can come and, invite some of the other vampires in the neighborhood, and they can come and hang out down there. In this middle section where I'm putting this rug at the moment, I do put some carpet there instead to act as a rug, but in this little section I thought it would be really cool just to leave it empty, because I thought it would be kind of a cool idea to have this little section as a place where the vampires can have little vampiric spas and things like that. I don't know, I think it would be cool to have like a little space where they can do their training and things like that. So we're putting in some of those knights there. I do put quite a few of them around the house, and I wanted to put some gargoyles here. So I actually decided to use the little vampire llama. I find that he's not very creepy looking or scary, so I thought just putting him downstairs would be a better idea, because I kind of wanted to have, the creepy looking gargoyles and things like that sort of on the outside where the public can see and things like that, and just I thought it'd be kind of cool as well to have a little entrance here. We have another painting with his ancestor there, and I'm going to guess the woman is probably most likely his wife, but we put another painting there, and I really like these curtains. They're very luxurious, and it really suits vampires, I think. And I wanted to put a single rose there, a single red rose. I thought it was really nice doing that. Just with that entrance as well, I feel I actually was inspired to do that from, I think it was Vlad's house. I think Vlad has something very similar in his house, so I really wanted to try and just add that little inspiration in there. Just with this little room, this is sort of like the main lounge room. It is very small. I decided not to put any TVs. I do, however, have a computer for gameplay purposes, but I felt they didn't really need a TV because they've got, I don't know, it doesn't really fit in with the Victorian time frame. Yeah. So I was actually having quite a lot of trouble trying to do this lounge room because I wanted to have so many things in here. I wanted to have like a little book study area. I wanted to have a computer. I wanted to have an organ and some couches, a fireplace, and obviously it just was not going to happen because there wasn't much space in this area. So I do change it about 3 times. So right now I'm going through the first little stage of trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. And now I am heading into sort of the second stage of what I'm trying to do with it, and I really actually did like this layout here, but I didn't like, once I decided to put the computer in, I didn't like where that's at, so I changed it up again. And yeah, in the end I think I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I really love this black wallpaper with the gold patterns on it. I think it's really nice with the bats as well. The bats are cool. I would actually quite like it in real life, I think. Maybe not plastered across the whole house, or a whole room per se, but maybe like on one wall, and perhaps just like lose the bats. The bats are cool if you're a vampire. I don't think I would want bats though in my actual house. I'm not too sure. But anyway, I really like these doors as well. And these paintings. I sort of wish that there was a few more paintings that you could put on the wall. I mean, they included lots of decals, so I guess that's why they didn't have as many paintings. But yeah, I don't know. So I think I do actually also get rid of the organ, because I do have one downstairs anyway, and I ended up putting a piano, a grand piano in the foyer. So we do have sort of like this little entranceway, which is kind of like the front foyer, but I do also have another foyer that comes off of the lounge here with the staircase, and that's where the bathroom, the kitchen, and the stairs to go down to the vampire dungeon. That's where those stairs are located, just in that little foyer. And I also do have I did add like a little door underneath the staircase. I think it's more for looks than anything else, because I think it looks kind of cool there, but of course it's not usable. Well, they can use it, but I don't think they can actually walk in the room. I actually tried to put something in there to see if a sim could walk in, but they wouldn't walk in. So it's more just for looks, the door on the staircase. So yeah, putting in some windows now, and I really like these windows. They're pretty cool. And these curtains as well. I'm actually very pleased with a lot of the objects that came with this vampire game stuff pack, because I don't know, I just really like it. I wasn't too much of a fan of the cast items, but I do really enjoy the build and buy mode. I may also be a little biased though, because build and buy mode is probably my favorite thing, to do in the game. And we're just chucking on some of these decals here. Like I said earlier, I do actually go in later off screen and add in a few more things, and that includes adding a lot more decals. I thought it would be cool to have some scratches on the wall, just some tears so you can see the boards underneath of the wallpaper and things like that. I think that the scratches would probably, when I was building this and adding scratches and things like that, I would put them in places where I think were more open, because I'd imagine that the vampires, maybe they had like a little fight in the end, so they'd scratch up things, and I thought possibly maybe they got really thirsty and went a little out of control, and so they scratched up a few of the walls and things like that. So I did try to put scratches in places that were sort of more open. With the tears of the wallpaper, with the boards showing through and things, I thought that would be okay to put them anywhere, because since vampires are immortal, the house they live in is probably pretty old and pretty sort of kind of run down, even though it still looks very luxurious despite all of the rips and the scratches and things like that. So we have a bathroom here, and vampires can't actually use the toilet, but the toilet is more for the visitors that come over, or the children, because the children, they still need to use toilets. It's only the adults who don't need to go, so I've still decided to include that in there. And I quite like this bathroom with this base game bath here. And I do put in the new medicine cabinet that came with the stuff pack, or the game pack, sorry. And it's really cool. I really like it because it's got like a skull in there, and it's got potions and things. It would work really well for witches as well, if you wanted to create some witches using CC items and things like that. I myself, I'm not too into the whole supernatural theme, but I am enjoying these vampires. I remember in Sims 3, the supernatural that I used to dislike the most was the zombies, because they were just a pain, and I know a lot of other people also found them a pain, so I'm glad I'm not the only one on that one. I think that they have done a really good job with these vampires, because I really did not like them in Sims 3, but I am really enjoying them here. So this kitchen here was a bit of an odd shape. I did put up, you know, some webs and some cracks and things like that, but I do believe that this room would still be used because they'd still have children, they'd still have visitors over, and I also think because they'd have visitors over, they wouldn't want it to look like it was too unused, because I don't know, people would probably come and wonder, why is the kitchen look like it's never been used? I thought though that possibly they could use it more for, like the adult vampires could possibly use it more for, you know, some supernatural things. I'm just going to pretend like vampires also make potions and things like that. So we have this little table here that I'm just going to clutter up with all of these little decoration items that kind of look like they, you know, they would be sort of like potion wise and things like that. I don't really know, but yeah, so we and I really like that I've added that little vampire doll there. So yeah, I use these little jars here, which are from the debug menu. So that's just bb.show hidden objects in the cheat bar there, if you haven't used that cheat before. Yeah, so I got those in the debug menu, and they're basically like dead preserved, I'm guessing they're preserved like animals and things like that, so I thought that was cool to put them in there. And we've got that little I don't know if it's an eagle head or some sort of bird head in that little glass terrarium type display case thingy. I also did put these little chests down here. I thought they would be kind of cool. I am just trying to figure out how to layer everything on the table, so you know, so that it doesn't look like it's just been plonked there, so that it kind of looks like it has some sort of sense to it. And yeah, I think it was, I really like the fact that I put that little Batgirl or Vampire Girl doll in there. I think that's quite cool. And I've just put some older, you know, old looking scale way type thingies. Put some mugs in there as well. I thought, you know, that'll be okay to put some mugs in there. And yeah, that's basically it. And I tried to put some of these fishes on the wall because I thought they could look kind of cool, but then at the same time, I felt like they looked a little too much. So I think I did take away 2 of the fish and I left the puffer fish there. And also using that little book stand there as well. That's pretty cool. Looks like it's a spell book. I think it looks like a spell book. So here we are adding some of the spider webs, and another one of those medicine cabinets. I think it would make sense to have one in there as well, although probably wouldn't be such a good idea when you've got visitors over and they see all that creepy stuff inside of there. I mean, they can see it all over the table anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So with this room, instead of using you know, the tiers with the boards underneath, I've decided to use like a concrete look underneath, because I feel like this kitchen would be concrete, and the reason why for that is because on the outside it's sort of like a it's brick on the outside. Even though the whole house is brick on the outside, I felt like this one would still show the concrete underneath. If that makes any sense, I'm not too sure if I'm explaining that right, but yeah. And then we need to have a dining table because I didn't add a dining room, so I thought I would just have it all in one, a dining table and kitchen all in one. And I decided to put this long one in, and even though they don't eat dinner, maybe they want to go and sit around the table sometimes, and I've decided to add a little high chair there as well. And I am just adding some more cracks and some water stains. And you can actually change the colour of the water stains, and I do change them later on to this really dark browny sort of colour, and I feel like it kind of looks a bit like dried blood, so that's why I used that, because I thought it would be kind of cool. Like maybe they were making, I don't know, like a blood smoothie or a plasma smoothie or something with plasma through and it splattered all over the wall or something like that. I don't know. So that there that you just saw was the little entrance to the vampire dungeon. So we are back into the daughter's bedroom, or the young teenager's bedroom, and I feel like my character in my gameplay, she's actually evil, so this room probably does not suit her, but I decided to do it anyway. So it is a bedroom for a good vampire, for a young teenage girl who just wants to be good. And so that's why I've added in the white furniture, because I feel like it sort of symbolizes, you know, purity in a way. So I feel like she would not drink human's blood, which would make her sort of a little bit more pure than a normal vampire. And I've decided to use this tapestry as well on the world, on the wall, and I think that's really nice. I think I do also use the tapestry somewhere else in the house. I can't quite remember though if I do or not. Sorry. And I really wanted to put this angel statue in there. I'm not too sure about how I feel about it now. I feel like it's a little too big for this room. I like this pedestal, but it annoys me that she is not sitting on it properly, and having two together, I just wasn't a big fan of how it looked. So I do just give her one of the original pedestals that they come with in this game pack. Sorry. So yeah, I'm not too sure about how I feel about that fairy. I did like it when I put it in, but I'm not too sure if I like it anymore. But anyway, I wanted to try and keep her room without any clutter. I don't know why, I just didn't feel like she would kind of be the person who would keep clutter lying around. When I do build houses though, I'm not too much into clutter. I do like to have sort of cleaner areas. I like clutter though in places like in the kitchen. I don't mind it in there, or you know, or an office. I don't mind it in there either. But when it comes to bedrooms, I feel like I like it to be clean, because personally in my bedroom, I have recently liked things to be very clean and very non-cluttered. Usually I have a lot of clutter, but I've been quite enjoying having a little bit of a change and not having any clutter in my room. So we are back to the boys' room. I thought it'd be nice for him to have some nice black wallpaper with these little what do you call them? Bat patterns? Bat patterns? Yeah, bat patterns on the wall. And I really like this flooring. I love how rich the browns are in this pack, because I feel like it makes them feel very luxe. So I do really enjoy these new floorboards, especially this patterned one. I know there is, I think there's either 2 or 3 different floorboards. I think it might be only 2, but this is probably one of my favourite floorboards. And I thought it would be nice for him to have a little pet fish. So he's got the little bone graveyard fish bowl there. I'm not too sure how you actually get the little skeletal fish for that bowl. I'm not sure if you have to catch it, or if I could have edited it in from debug mode, but that's fine. Should be able to put something in. He could just have a whole bunch of fish that dies. Maybe that's why it's called the bone graveyard fish bowl or something like that. And yeah, for his room, I decided to keep a lot of the things just as browns and blacks. I've still added in a couple toys, and then the little black chest for him and the vampire bat toys. So he does have a little bit of entertainment in there. They might probably get a little bit more bored compared to other Sims because they don't have TV, but oh well. So here is the bathroom, the ensuite actually for the parents' room. I've only got a bathtub and a sink in there because once they reach young adulthood, they don't need to use the toilet anymore, like I was saying before, so I didn't include a toilet in there. This bathroom I'm doing right now though is the children's bathroom, so I've included a toilet in there for them. And I chose to do this kids' bathroom blue because I feel like they wouldn't be as dark as their parents just yet. Their parents, they like to have the dark colours because they're older vampires and things like that. I feel like their little boy would be sort of a darker vampire as well. I feel like when he grows up he'd be a dark vampire, and that'll be due to them sort of influencing him by making his room dark and things like that. So yeah. So back to the parents' room, I have layered up a bunch of these curtains on the wall behind the bed because I feel like it makes it look very luxurious. On the bedside tables, I also added in the little Grim Reaper gnome statue, but I do that off screen and you'll see that in the screenshots, but I really like them because they have I think they have glowing red eyes or something, so I think they look really cool. And I went ahead and added a little bassinet downstairs as well because I didn't really want to have the in-game bassinet, so I changed that as well and put in a little bassinet there. So this is the little toddler room I was talking about, and I thought it would be nice to have it a little, a little brighter. Even though the parents are quite dark, I feel like they would, when their child is just a toddler, I feel like they would give them something a little more playful and a little more, not so scary, because I think vampire toddlers would still probably be scared of, some of the creepy stuff that vampires have. I'm not too sure, but they might. I mean, actually, in my personal gameplay, I had a toddler sleeping downstairs in the dungeon with the parents, and I was looking and I was thinking, gosh, if that was me, if I was that little toddler, I would be freaking out sleeping in the same room as, a couple of coffins. Then again, they're probably only a toddler, so they probably don't even know what a coffin is at that age. So yeah, just making it a little, I didn't really want to put too much paintings and things like that on the wall, just because, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't suit with the rest of the house, even though I've already got some of those modern toys in there and things like that, and I've tried to keep it as close as possible to Victorian ages by also putting in that Victorian dollhouse rather than a modern one or something like that. So just in the hallway here, just pretty simple. I just want to have a few curtains. Also in this big area upstairs here, it's sort of a big open area, and I put these archways because I really wanted to have that area open with just sort of like a balustrade railing or something like that, but it wouldn't let me when I was building it. Like when I would try and put a fence there, the roofing that I had put would cut through the walls, so I had to figure something else. I had to figure something else out, and I wanted to still have it open, so I decided to put these little arch window things in. I'm not too sure if they're windows or if they're decorations, but I decided to put those in, and I'm actually pretty pleased with how it looks. So the hallway, because it's quite thin, I tried to keep it as simple as possible. So I've just put a few paintings and a sofa down this end. Just a few little side tables and lamps there, and at the end of the hall you just saw before that I had some large flower statue stand thingy-mabobbies with another portrait of one of the ancestors. Anyway, we are going into the screenshots now, so if you guys enjoyed this, remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so you can see more videos in the future. I hope you guys all enjoyed this, and I will speak to you guys all next time. Bye!